How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping out another video. Right, guys, more prison news as I usually do. I'm ill, guys, so my chest is proper bad, so I apologize if I sound like I've been swallowing razor blades. BBC News, guys. Tragically and sadly, guys, there's been yet another death in custody. There's 2 prisons at the moment. All prisons are bad when it comes to suicides, but there's 2 specific prisons that stand out, and that is Nottingham, which is this story here, and also Walton Prison, which is HMP Liverpool. Now, Walton Jail has had 4 suicides since September of 2017, and I think there's been 8 in the past 12 months at Nottingham as well. And like I say, guys, right, to the government, these people are criminals and they're just a number. But to me, as a former prisoner, these prisoners are real people, guys. And before prisoners were ever offenders, they were first victims. And if people looked at rather than people looking at the crimes and the offences, right, those on the right side of the tracks, if you looked at the start of the developmental process, right, if you will, then these people would actually have sympathy for people that end up in prison rather than wanting to brutalise them. Because like I say, before prisoners were ever offenders, they were first victims. Growing up in care leavers, sexually abused, physically abused, emotionally abused, bullied, fucking mental health issues, autism, Asperger's syndrome, parents were addicts, suffered with addictions, homelessness. The people in prison, guys, are some of the most vulnerable and susceptible people in society. And yes, we commit crime, but look at the root cause of offending, guys. Anyway, let's do the story. Headline reads, another prisoner dies at dangerous HMP Nottingham. Honestly, guys, right, I don't know this prisoner, right? It's called Robert Frejus, right? He was 29 and he died at the prison on Tuesday. Now, it genuinely breaks me heart, guys, when there's a death in custody like this. It genuinely, it guts me, guys. I'm out of prison, I don't know these people, but at the end of the day, as a former prisoner, we've actually got big hearts, right? And I feel so sorry for anyone whose loved one dies in prison. And if your loved one dies in prison, right, the prison don't run to the papers and tell the papers, no, 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 no. They like to sweep it under the carpet. So if your loved one dies in prison, you should pay tribute to your loved one, contact your local paper, national papers, and they will pick it up, the story. Prison's big news at the moment, but it's not about being a news story to the news. It's about paying tribute to your loved one and so their death isn't in vain. So the story reads, another inmate has died at a prison criticised for its tragic and appalling death rate. Robert Frejus, 29, died on Tuesday at HMP Nottingham. The Ministry of Justice has confirmed. See, confirmed. They've not gone to the paper with a story, guys. Someone's got it out, the cat out of the bag, right? And rightfully so. And then the prison have had to confirm it. A cause of death has not been revealed, but a spokesman said the Prisons and Probation Ombudsman would investigate. In July, inmate Frejus Rudolph Puzosk, 28, was charged with murder following the death of a fellow prisoner, 43-year-old Brett Lowe. A statement from the Ministry of Justice on Mr. Frejus' death said its thoughts were with his friends and family. It's just the generic line that they throw out, guys. They don't give a shit about prisoners, families, and deaths in custody. They don't care, but they throw out the generic line. Our thoughts and prayers are with his friends and his family. In May, the Chief Inspector of Prisons reported a dangerous and disrespectful environment at the Category B jail. There has been 8 self-inflicted deaths at the facility since 2016. Right, so it's actually 2 years, guys, not 1 year that there's been 8 deaths, including 4 in the space in as many weeks last year. Chief Inspector of Prisons Peter Clark said, inmates might have taken their own lives because they could no longer face life at the drug-ridden jail. In January, Mr. Clark issued the Ministry of Justice with an urgent notification letter demanding action within 28 days. 28 days, guys. When these prisons are put in special measures, right, and they get urgent notification letters from Mr. Clark, right, who's the Chief Inspector of Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons, right, 28 days isn't enough time. Not at all. Just paper over the cracks, guys. The move led to the Justice Secretary David Gauke publish an action plan. Wow, it's not working, is it? The Ministry of Justice said it had made improvements to the prison, including recruiting more prison officers to improve safety and tackle drugs. That's not going to help with prisoners' mental health issues and stuff like that, is it? I mean, the Prison Officers Association said the prison appeared to be struggling to maintain law and order. Not about the death in custody. Not about this Richard Frejus, God bless him. My thoughts and prayers with his family massively. But this is the thing. Appeared to be struggling to maintain law and order. The Prison Officers Association don't care about prisoners. They don't care about prisoners' families. They care about its own members, guys. The POA Union and the Prison Officers Association care about prison officers. No one seems to give a shit about prisoners. I do, and I'll keep speaking out, man. And like I say, if you are Mr. Frejus's family, right, God bless him, may he rest in peace, right? I don't know the circumstances, but it just says a suicide, right? Death in custody. So I'm assuming, could be natural causes, guys. 29-year-old, you've got to look more towards self-inflicted death or suicide. And suicide, guys, doesn't mean that he can't handle his prison, right? It just, he's come to the end of the road and he sees suicide. How sad and tragic is it, right, that a prisoner, right, in a squalid, horrible prison, right, like Nottingham, like Walton, like all these other prisons around the country, thinks, you know what, I'm not doing this no more. And they seek suicide as a way out. Could be mental health, could be bullying, could be prison officers on his case and bullying him as well, because it does go on, guys. So many different things that could be at play. And unfortunately, it's another death in custody. I take it personally, guys. I genuinely do. Body bags are as much part of prison life as the squalid conditions, the understaffing, the spice, the dilapidated, run-down prisons. Right? Prisons are warehouses for the vulnerable, highly vulnerable and susceptible peoples in society. And the doubling up as mental health units, guys, right? Mentally ill prisoners are stacked in prisons. And if you haven't got mental health issues when you go to prison, you leave with them. Because, in my opinion, prison effect, right, we all do this macho thing, guys, right? There's a lot of misconceptions as prisoners. Oh, we do the macho thing and prison's easy and all that stuff. I try to focus on the negatives because there are no positives to come from prison. Right, yeah, you might have a laugh when you're on the landing. You might see some crazy shit. Like, you might have a buzz and a laugh, right? But when you're locked behind your door, the only people that prosper in prison and that enjoy prison are those that have got nothing on the outside. If you're on the streets homeless, right, and we're in October now, right, and it's raining and it's windy and there's this storm and all this stuff, and you're picked up for, say, shoplifting, right, and you end up in prison, right? You're in prison, you've got a roof over your head, 3 meals a day, and drugs on tap, right? But if you're in prison and you've got a loved one and a family and a missus and kids and stuff, prison fucks with your head massively. The strain it puts on your relationship, the strain it puts on your mental health. And I genuinely do believe that prisons start mental health issues, guys. And that's for the ones that haven't already got it. And believe me, there's a lot that have. Prisoners were disposable. People don't care. We're crime statistics. Then we end up in prison. We're prison numbers. Then we die in prison. And then, we take prisoners seek suicide as a way out. Swept under the rug. And it kills me, guys. Please, please, please speak up. If you've got a loved one, if Mr. Frejus's family see this vlog, like a lot of other prisoners that have tragically taken their own lives and the family have seen the vlog, please get in touch with me, guys. Please speak up. Make sure that Richard's death isn't in vain. Keep the pressure on the Ministry of Justice, because the Ministry of Justice have got blood on their hands. 29-year-old. All life ahead of him. He could have kids. That a prisoner isn't just a prisoner. That's somebody's son. That's somebody's brother. That's somebody's father. Do you know what I mean? And obviously we've got female prisoners. So you've got mothers, sisters, aunties, things like that, right? Like I say, what's going on in our prisons is a humanitarian crisis of the highest order. And those on the right side of the tracks don't care. It's wrong, man. It hurts me. Wrong. Anyway, guys, leave it here. Let me know what you think about the video and about his about Richard Frejus's death. 8 deaths in 2 years. 4 in 12 months at Walton Jail. And that's just 2 prisons, guys. 12 deaths in 2 years at 2 prisons alone. We're seeing record numbers of assaults, record numbers of self-harm. Prisoners are getting out for less periods of time, right? And you're seeing record numbers of highs on assaults and self-harm. And I genuinely do believe it's a matter of time before we got record numbers of suicides. But the Ministry of Justice will try to keep a lid on that, and say, or if they can sweep it under the rug, they will do. But when they release their safe for in custody statistics, all will be revealed. Leave it there, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Cody out.